All right. And I'm heartbroken at this story. So for this hometown writing story, I'm heading to Eufaula, Alabama, which is a little bit south of where I am. And a family is grieving the unthinkable after what started as a search for a missing teen ended in tragedy. An 18-year-old young man, Markavis, described by loved ones as a young man with plans and purpose, was reported missing after family says he was last seen getting into a vehicle with an acquaintance back on May the 7th. According to family members, disturbing rumors began circulating in the community that something terrible may have happened. And this is where the story becomes heartbreaking. So loved ones say they spent days searching on their own. They didn't have support from the police as they thought they should have. They walked through rain and wooded areas, desperately trying to find answers. Then on Mother's Day weekend, in a muddy, wooded area off White Oak Church Road in Eufaula, the family says they discovered what no parent should ever have to see. And I will give a disclaimer, y'all. Some of this is going to be graphic. So if you're sensitive to that, you may want to tune out for a few minutes and then come back. So the mother says that her son had been shot and burned. Authorities later returned to the scene to search for evidence, but at this time, investigators have not publicly identified a suspect. Though the family believes someone known to him may be responsible, what makes this even harder to hear is that the family says the 18-year-old had recently earned his GED and was working toward becoming a welder. He was a young man with dreams, plans, and a future ahead of him. So now the investigation remains active. Authorities are asking anyone with information to come forward. And tonight, the story leaves us with a hard question. What happened to this young man, and how do families find peace waiting for justice? So I'm going to play the clip along with this. If you're sensitive to things like this, you might want to tune out for a minute and come back. Let me see. It's very heartbreaking to hear this. And like I said, this is about 30 miles south of me. So it's been big on the news. I haven't heard any recent updates lately as far as like the investigation. Like the family seems to think they know who may have done this. And I think they're, and this is all alleged, y'all. So I think this, sooner or later, somebody will be, the police has suspects, if I'm not mistaken. So let's listen in. Let's listen in on this.
Barber County. The family of a missing 18-year-old says after searching for him for days, they made a horrifying discovery in the woods.
WDHN's Elizabeth White has more for us tonight, and we do want to warn you the details in the story are disturbing.
But they got to pay all I'm going to pay. Everybody that's involved, I want them to pay for my son. Everybody that's involved, go pay for my son. Everybody that's involved, go pay for my son. Everybody.
A mother's grief is tangible. The pain, unthinkable. For 5 days, Markavis Rump's family searched for the missing 18-year-old after they say he was last seen Thursday, May 7th, getting into a car with an acquaintance. Then came disturbing information from the community. Fearing he had been badly hurt, the family launched their own search over Mother's Day weekend.
I looked for 5 days for my son with no help from the Eufaula Police Department. No help. Me and my family in the rain on Mother's Day. I walked around through woods.
Then Monday, in a muddy wooded area off of White Oak Church Road, their search ended in horror.
They basically burnt my baby, shot my baby, burnt them up and chopped them up.
And you were the one that found?
Yes.
How does a father deal with that?
I'm dealing with it best I can right now.
Tuesday, investigators were back in the woods searching for evidence as the hunt for a killer or killers continues. The family does believe someone known to Markavis is responsible, but police so far have not named a suspect. Markavis had just earned his GED and planned to become a welder, a young life cut tragically short.
This investigation is still active as authorities search for answers. If you have any information regarding this case, please contact the Eufaula Police Department, and we'll continue to bring you any and all updates, both on air and online here at WDHN.
Welcome back into Live Now.
Yeah, so sad, heartbreaking. Seemed like he had a whole life planned for him to be a welder and whatnot. I hope that they find out who did this to that young man, because it's so heartbreaking that happened. If you are catching this on the rewatch, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment. I talk back. For right now, I'm talking back. So Ted said, get it. Tristan Rose responding to my last segment. He said, yeah, that's my thing. Who's cutting the check to make that happen? I don't know, Tristan. Miles said he was 18, Tristan, 18. Tristan said, rest in peace to that young man. Absolutely. It's a horrible way to leave this earth. Of course, it's probably is not deserving. Yeah, Tristan said, I can only imagine discovering something like that. And the parents had discovered it. That's what makes this so tough, because his own parents discovered it. And and they said they wasn't getting any good response from or any help from the local police station. It's tough. So prayers to that family. Make sure they get the justice they need, the peace they need, the comfort and all that. Tristan, I'm not for certain why the police didn't help. Eufaula is a very small community. I don't know. Their population is real. It's a tiny town on the Georgia-Alabama border. So I'm not for certain if they didn't have the capabilities to do a search, or if they just didn't want to, because we are in the South. So you know how those, I'm not going to put any things out there. International Scope said, they say it's the people closest to you. They say he got in a car with an acquaintance. So, but I'm pretty sure whatever happened, that 18-year-old did not deserve to leave this earth in that fashion at all. Scope said, rest in peace to that young king. Absolutely. He was doing something with himself. And he just had got his GED, was going to welding school. Forever angel now. So forever angel. So yeah, so moving forward, I know that was heavy. We're going to get into my new segment, and it's called Wellness, the Wellness Report. We have one more comment though. Probably sheriff deputy is not a complete force. Yeah, I'm thinking so. Okay, so let's look up before we move on, I'm going to look up the population. See, so it's approximately 12,111 to 12,584 residents. The city has seen a slight annual decline in recent years, decreasing by roughly 3.5% in the 2020 census. So yeah. And this might matter slightly, but the racial makeup of Eufaula is 45% Black or African American, and then 45 white residents are around, so about half and half. White residents are around 45%. The remaining population consists of Hispanic or Latino residents. So yeah, very tiny town, very tiny town. Tristan said, it's always the young men that got something to work towards. I know, Tristan, so heartbreaking.